Hello and welcome to our tribe. Monthly Get Social with Sarah, our social media Q&A. It is December 2021. It's the last one of the year, so I've decided to do a best of. So best of Get Social with Sarah. Kind of favourite questions, or those questions which I felt are most relevant to everybody. So everyone can take some real value from all the questions. So I've chosen 5 questions for this best of Get Social with Sarah, the last one of 2021. So first question from one of our tribe members. I feel restricted by how much I can promote my business in Facebook groups. Is there another way? So my answer is yes, there's always another way. So apart from using other parts of Facebook or other social media platforms, when we're talking just about Facebook groups, I like to approach it a bit like research. Aim to learn as much as you possibly can about your ideal client from the groups that you are in. Now, the objective here is to be in groups which are full of your ideal clients. If you're not, then your purpose of being in that group has to be something else. But for this example, our purpose of being in these Facebook groups is to meet and interact with our ideal client. So use this opportunity to listen to them, the language that they use, the phrases they use, the questions they ask, the challenges that they face, and gain a better grasp on who your ideal client is, and use those questions and those comments to interact, to engage, to start building relationships, as opposed to the typical way that people might approach Facebook groups, which is how often can I promote? What days can I promote? How can I promote so it doesn't look like I'm promoting? Forget all that. Look at it completely differently. This is a research project. How can you learn more about your ideal clients? How can you use that information to better your marketing? And how can you then engage with those people based on the questions that they've asked and the challenges that they face? Every Facebook group has a search button, so you can search for a word or a phrase that you feel your ideal clients might use in relation to your product or service. So you're literally looking for people who are asking questions about what you do and how that can help them. So take advantage of the search feature and turn things around and look at Facebook groups with a new set of eyes. When you are assessing the groups that you are in as to a measure as to whether they are a good Facebook group for your business, then take into account these criteria. Number 1, how frequently do members ask questions? So if it's only admin who are asking questions and posting in the group, then it is not demonstrating a very community-based group. You want to see members wanting to ask questions. If members are asking questions, it shows that they have previously benefited from what they have gained from asking questions in that group. So they'll continue to ask questions, and they know that their question will be supported and answered by people who can really help them. So look for how frequently members ask questions. Number 2, do other members answer their questions? So if it's only admins that are answering their question, then that's not as good as other members answering their questions. A sign of a wonderful Facebook group is where other members straight away chip in and say, yeah, I know that, I can help you with that, I can recommend someone, I can, and so on. So that is a really, really great sign of a positively growing and a healthy Facebook group when members are answering other members' questions. Number 3, does it feel like a community? Does it feel supportive and kind? Does it feel like somewhere you want to be? And number 4, Is there any advertising, and what are their rules on promotion and ads? Personally, I like to see a Facebook group that is very transparent about their advertising and when they allow promotional posts or not. So everybody knows what the score is. What you don't want is a Facebook group full of ads and promotions. That is not a community, it is just a billboard. So look for their terms and conditions, their rules, what they set out, so you know and you can comply with it, but also it gives you a really good gauge as to the community essence of a group. Even any doubt, ask, put a post in the group and ask a question, or get in touch with the admin personally and ask them. I'm always really, really delighted when people message me as a host of a Facebook group and say, I'd like to post this, or I have a question about that, or is it okay if I do this? And I'm always open to answering their questions and helping them. But you will benefit much more by asking, either in the group or personally, than just going ahead when you're not really sure. Because if it's a large group, it's just added admin for the admins. So yes, always ask if you are unsure, and admins really appreciate being asked, because that is a great way to, well, first of all, get in touch with the people that are running the group and show your appreciation and your respect for them. But we're all about building relationships, aren't we? And those are good ways to build relationships. Question number 2, do you think a podcast would work for my business? Yes, 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 absolutely. I believe a podcast or any other marketing angle and perspective can work for any business. You can make it work for you. If it's what you want to do, you can find a way to make it work for you. You can most probably find a similar business that has done this already, so you can look for those examples. If you haven't, then you might need to look at a different angle that is a way that you want to approach it so that it can work for you. The magical thing about audio, so that's podcasts, Clubhouse, live video, etc., is that you can build a much deeper and stronger relationship with your audience and a much better connection with them, much quicker. They can hear and feel and sense your passion and your values, and they can tell if you're not real, but they could also see and hear the enthusiasm and energy and excitement in your voice and the way that you speak. So they really, really can hear your passion. So audio is super, super powerful. I think podcasts are fantastic. I also think Clubhouse is fantastic. And if it were me and I was looking to stretch out into another area and I was deciding whether podcast might be a good option, I would also definitely be considering Clubhouse. One of the fantastic things about Clubhouse over a podcast is it can be immediate. Literally, it can happen straight away. This morning, on my Clubhouse room, I had someone join the room, come on stage, contribute to the conversation, who had never been on Clubhouse before, never been in the room before. It's their first room and their first day on Clubhouse. That is how quick you can do it. You can literally be downloading the app, and within minutes, you can be on the platform, be listening into rooms, be engaging in conversations, and that is quite phenomenal. Another advantage of Clubhouse over a podcast is that you can search out the topics, people, conversations that you want to be included in, that you want to contribute to. It's already all there for you. Whereas really a podcast, I feel, is a bit more challenging in the aspect that you have to record the podcast, distribute it amongst your social media channels, and encourage people to come to you. It's always so much easier with social media to go to where your clients and your potential clients already are, as opposed to requesting and asking and encouraging them to come to you. Just marketing. It's always easier to go where they are as opposed to asking them to come to where we are. So weigh up the pros and cons for a podcast versus Clubhouse, and some other elements like live video and reels and things like that. But in terms of this question, I would be comparing Clubhouse to podcast. And like I said, if it was me, I'd be going straight onto Clubhouse and spending my time, energy and effort there and assessing how that goes after a couple of months, and then decide, okay, this has been great, I now want to venture into doing a podcast. But in summary, I think a podcast is fantastic and a brilliant option for any type of business. There's just massive power in listening and hearing somebody's passion and values in their voice. So question number 3, still on the topic of Clubhouse, which is brilliant. I love Clubhouse. Question 3, with Clubhouse, should you follow back everyone who follows you? So my recommendation, and this is for all social media, follow those you want to follow. Don't follow people for followers' sake. Don't get involved into following ladders and follow 300 people and you get 5,000 followers back. Just don't go there. Just use your common sense, use your intuition, just listen to what you know is right. Would you want to have 5,000 followers that are never going to be your clients? They're never going to engage or like or comment. They're never going to refer you, and they're never going to book you. They're never going to buy your product or your service. No, don't go there. So I've got 5 questions to ask yourself when you're deciding whether you want to follow people back that have followed you. Number 1, am I interested in connecting with this person? Simple question. Number 2, do I enjoy and resonate with their content? Number 3, do we have aligned values? Number 4, do our businesses complement each other? Is there possibility for collaboration, partnership, or mutual support? And number 5, do we have a similar target audience? Sometimes it's really helpful to have a set of questions that we ask ourselves when we're making a decision or making a next step. So I would run through those just quickly in your mind, and it will soon become much quicker and easier, and then you might end up not even asking yourself those questions, but by experience and by instinct. But please do not follow people back just because they followed you, and please do not get involved in follower ladders and follower things like that. And a couple of tips specific for Clubhouse. Check their bio. Most people on Clubhouse are really utilising their bio in a fantastic way and putting a lot of information in there, which gives you a wealth of data to go on as to whether you want to follow them and whether you're interested in connecting with them. You can also see who that person is nominated by. So it might be that it's somebody you already know. So if it's a trusted source, you might then automatically go, okay, so I know this person, they're connected to this person, I'm happy to follow them. Thirdly, most importantly, and I find this is how I follow people most naturally, is from hearing them on stage. I'll be in a room, I'll hear them speak on stage, and straight away I'm on their profile and I follow. I don't even hesitate. And again, it comes back to one of the biggest advantages of Clubhouse is that you can feel and hear their passion, their excitement in their voice. And if I hear that, then I'm not in any doubt that I want to follow them. So I would say the majority of people that I've followed have been people that I've heard on stage, I've had a conversation with, I've been in the audience and I've listened to them on stage. And that's really determined my decision on following or I'm not following. It's pretty crystal clear from that. So yes, those are kind of 5 questions to ask yourself, and tips specifically for Clubhouse on determining whether you want to follow somebody. Question number 4. So tips for planning social media to make sure you do it. I feel like a lot of us, most of us, know what we should be doing, but it's the procrastination that kind of comes in the way, and you're kind of like, the sense that it feels like a chore. So how can we stay motivated to tackle our social media and continue to do it so that we're consistent with it? So I've got 10 tips. Number 1, first of all, review all of your platforms. And I think at this time of year, end of the year or beginning of the year, it's a great time to kind of do a big sort of housekeeping exercise, and that can include your social media. Do you still want to host and maintain the platforms that you have? Can you do any streamlining? Can you reduce anything, cut it down? Where can you prioritize your time so that your energy and your effort is going into the platforms where you get the best engagement and the best results? Number 2, make it easy. Whatever you can do to make it easy, do it. You're more likely to do it if it's easy to do. Number 3, make it fun. We are self-employed small business owners. This is a fun and amazing journey that we're experiencing, and we spend a considerable amount on our social media, a considerable amount of time and energy on it. So make it as fun and enjoyable as you possibly can. Plus, if you're having fun doing it, your readers will have fun reading it. Number 4, schedule in bulk. Use inbuilt features wherever possible. If you can schedule out a month's worth of social, then it's something that is done, and your focus over that month can be put into engaging and looking for new people to follow and interacting on other people's accounts and other elements like that, which will help your social media presence. Number 5, repurpose. Reuse your content on different platforms, tweak the content, switch up the image, or copy and paste and do the exact same thing on the same platform or on other platforms. People will not see everything that you post, and there's never any harm in them seeing it more than once. As consumers, we know that we often need to see things more than once. Our brain needs a little time to process and remember and engage in what's happening and go, okay, yes, this is for me. I do want to do something. But it might be the second, third, or fourth time that we see something that our brain kind of clicks into place. Number 6, don't overthink it. To share what you feel, say what you think, don't overthink it. Number 7, experiment with planning tools like Trello, productivity tools, organizational tools. There's masses and masses and masses out there to help us plan our social media, be more organized, be more efficient. And these tools are to help us. Depending on how we work, they can feel like more of a hindrance than a help, but find something that works for you and stick with it. It will really, really save you time and make the whole process much more streamlined. Number 8, have an accountability buddy. Find somebody in your network, find a like-minded individual who you can check in with, and you know what you want, you both want to achieve with your social media and your goals that you set, and check in to encourage each other to do your posting, do your scheduling, do your engagement time, and so on. Number 9, give yourself a treat. Always like a treat. Whatever a treat means to you, give yourself a treat at the end of a day's worth of scheduling, a couple of hours of engagement, whatever it is that you have set yourself to do, give yourself a treat. Number 10, you can always outsource. Good old outsource. There are millions of fantastic VAs that love doing social media, sourcing images, designing templates, making things on Canva, all sorts, absolutely endless. Find someone who loves doing it. So those are my top 10 tips for planning social media to make sure that you do it. And the last question is it worth regularly writing a blog? My answer is yes. And I've 6 reasons why. Number 1, you can repurpose your blog content for your social media posts. Imagine you've written a 500-600 word blog, which then goes up on your website, and then you break that down into X number of Facebook posts, X number of Instagram posts, X number of LinkedIn posts, etc. You can repurpose one blog into many social media posts. I think that is really, really one of the very biggest reasons, especially as the last question was about social media. So if you're making your life much easier by using a strategy like this, going from blog through to social media posts, then life is going to be a lot simpler. Number 2, it drives more traffic to your website. Bingo. Number 3, it shows your expertise. Number 4, it boosts your search engine optimization, SEO. Number 5, consistency pays off. If you're regularly writing a blog, that consistency is really going to pay off. Number 6, it helps to build familiarity and trust with your readers. If you're writing a blog on a consistent basis and you have a following on your website, on your social media, that are engaging and reading that blog, the consistency is going to result in those people being familiar with you, building up that trust, and those are really good concrete kind of sounding blocks for starting that relationship. So 6 reasons why it is definitely worth having a regular blog. Plus, you can always guest blog as well. That could be number 7. So those are the questions for today on our December 2021 final Get Social with Sarah for the end of the year. And we do these in the tribe every month, so they'll be resuming again in January 2022. Hope that is super helpful, and have an amazing Christmas. See you soon. Bye.